Alejandra Londono and welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel, you find lots of videos specifically about teaching and working online from home. In today's video, I'm going to share the pros and cons of working for two different online teaching companies. I am currently actively working with VIPKID and Outschool. Now, before I dig into this fun topic, if you are new here and you are not subscribed to my channel, I would so much appreciate if you do. Hit the subscribe button and the bell. That lets you know when I upload new videos, and I upload at least one video per week specifically about teaching and working from home. So, as I said, in today's video, I'm going to share all the good, the bad, the ugly, the awesomeness about VIPKID and Outschool. Alright, so just a little background information. I have been with VIPKID for about 2.5 years, and I absolutely love the company. I have just recently added Outschool. I've been with them for roughly 3 months, and I am loving the journey so far. Now, as I said, in today's video, I'm going to share the pros and cons of each company and why I've decided to stay with both companies. So let's get started. I am going to start with VIPKID. Now, VIPKID has been a true blessing for me. I worked with them part-time for a long time when I was a brick and mortar teacher, and then I was able to actually leave my job and focus on them full-time. And they have been an amazing opportunity. I honestly love working with them. They have so many more pros than cons, but let's go ahead and dig into them. So, pros with VIPKID, they have an amazing flexible schedule. Now, yes, granted, depending on where you live, the hours may be early in the morning or late at night, but the schedule is totally flexible and open. You can teach 1 class a week, you can teach 60 classes a week. It's totally up to you. You pick when you want to work. Another pro that I think is really good, especially for newer teachers or people that don't even have a background in teaching, is that VIPKID provides all of the material for you. So there is absolutely no lesson plans. VIPKID gives you like a PowerPoint, and you simply go through that interactive PowerPoint with the student. Now, another pro with VIPKID for me personally is there's little to no prep time. And this is obviously the opposite with Outschool, but I have been teaching with VIPKID for such a long period of time that I no longer prep for classes. I look at the slide 2 minutes before class, and I have all my materials in front of me, and I'm able to teach the class right on the spot. Now, obviously, when you first start teaching for VIPKID, this may not be the case, but if you do stick with the company and once you get used to their curriculum, there is little to no prep time really needed. Another pro with VIPKID is you don't have to deal with emails and messaging parents. So the beauty of it, unlike a brick and mortar teacher, is you are not constantly checking in with the parent to make sure they can make your schedule time, to give them updates. You don't have a really direct communication. You communicate to VIPKID, and VIPKID really communicates to the parents. Now, yes, you do leave feedbacks after each lesson, but you usually do not have a direct conversation with the parents unless you talk to them on the camera or you have the WeChat app, which is a Chinese app. So another pro is their scheduling. You can make your schedule on your phone, on your computer. It's very user-friendly and it's very easy to navigate. Finally, another pro is that you can teach from either your iPad, your desktop computer, your laptop, so you can use any device really. I don't think they support Android tablets, but it is iPad or laptop or computer that you can use. As long as you have sturdy internet, you can basically teach from anywhere with that device. And the last pro for me is that you can really start to build a pretty consistent schedule. Yes, keep in mind, VIPKID does not guarantee slots. It does take effort and work in the beginning to really build and get regular students and get a good schedule. But after time, you can kind of predict what classes you'll have booked and what classes you will not. For example, before I started with Outschool for VIPKID, I usually worked 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. and I was pretty sure that 5 to 6 days out of the week, all of those slots would be full because I have been working so hard to keep my regular students, give detailed feedback, and just keep a very consistent schedule. Now, there are a few cons, especially in comparison with Outschool. The biggest one is probably the pay. Especially with the new pay scale, it is basically almost impossible to make more money with VIPKid. Right now, I'm roughly at $20 per hour, probably a little bit more, but not much. It depends on how many classes I teach each month. But you're kind of stuck at 20, maybe 21, 22, maybe $23 per hour with VIPKid. Set in stone, that's it. There's nothing really else you can do to make more money. It doesn't matter how long you've been there. Another con, it can be that the material is provided. If you were or you are a brick and mortar teacher, you might like the creativity of creating classes. And of course, that's not really possible with VIPKid because again, the platform provides you all the material needed to teach the student. So the last con, it's not a super bad con, but Outschool doesn't have this. VIPKid, you have to leave feedback. Now, I use Feedback Panda, so my feedback only takes a few minutes, but I have seen teachers spend a lot of time leaving feedback. And yes, feedback is very important. You need to leave feedback for every single class with VIPKid, and it should be pretty detailed. But of course, depending on the teacher, that can kind of be a pro or con. And Outschool doesn't even have that problem, so it might be a con for some of you. I don't know. Okay, I hope I'm not talking too fast, but let's go ahead and jump into Outschool, the pros. So you have probably heard everyone hooting and going crazy about Outschool. Outschool is very big right now, and there's many reasons why. The pay is probably one of the biggest ones. You as a teacher set your own pay. So if I look at my stats from last month, I made about $40 per hour with Outschool, and that's in comparison with VIPKid making 20. Now, of course, I can make more or less. I'm not really guaranteed to pay, but I do set my own pay as a teacher on this platform. Just like VIPKid, they have a very, very flexible schedule. So you can decide if you want to teach one class or 50 classes. It's totally up to you. And I actually forgot to mention another con with VIPKid is their cancellation policy that is not necessarily a problem with Outschool. So Outschool does not give you a penalty if you cancel a class. So that means you don't get some points on a contract, you don't get money taken away. Well, that's the opposite with VIPKid. VIPKid's cancellation policy is actually a little strict, honestly. So you're allowed, I believe, 6 cancellations with VIPKid per 6-month period. And depending on what time or how often or what kind of cancellation it is, they may actually take money away from you. Now, another pro with Outschool, just like VIPKid, is that you can teach from any device, computer, iPad. You can probably even teach from your phone. You just need something compatible with Zoom because obviously Zoom is what you're going to be teaching from. And then this can also be a pro or a con is that you get to make your own lessons. Now, in the beginning, it might seem like a con, but then when I started getting back into the groove of it, I'm actually loving creating my own classes again. So it's become a pro for me, but this can be different for each individual. Now, there are a few cons with Outschool. I think the biggest one that a lot of people overlook is the prep and the time and the energy that does go into a class. So unlike VIPKid, you can't just show up and teach. You actually have to prepare a good lesson, get it approved, and then teach it. So that can take anywhere from 1 hour to 5 hours. It just depends on how long it takes you to create your lesson. But there is a lot of work done behind the scenes. Now, another con with Outschool is you get a lot of emails and you are directly in contact with parents. Now, I am saying that's a con just because you're not getting paid to do that. So you are not getting paid to respond to parent messages, to transfer students from one class to another class, to create your lessons. You're not getting paid for any of that. So dealing with the emails can be a little time consuming, and of course you're not getting paid for that. Now, scheduling is a little bit of a con, and I only say that in comparison to VIPKid. It is very easy to open up slots for VIPKid and kind of see your week's schedule. And personally, I feel like Outschool, they should probably update their system just a little bit because sometimes it's hard to navigate and actually schedule classes. It's very time consuming because you have to go class by class. You have to pick the class, you have to pick the time, pick the day, and it's just very time consuming. And sometimes it's hard to get that big picture because they don't have like a week's view or a month's view of your classes. So that can be a little frustrating, but of course it's not a big con. It's just a small computer update that probably is needed. So the last con I have may just be for me personally, but I have not been able to develop a very consistent schedule yet. Please keep in mind, I've only been with them for about 3 months. So obviously I've been with VIPKID for 2.5 years, so I definitely have a consistent schedule with them already. But I am struggling, or I have not yet found a consistent schedule with Outschool. And what I mean by that is, let's say Monday, my 2 p.m. dog class is fully sold out, fully booked, but then the following Monday, I only have 3 learners, or I have no learners. So I have not yet figured out a good consistent schedule. It could be I need to develop better classes. It could be I have not fully found my niche yet. It could just be the time period that we're in right now with the pandemic and everyone trying to figure out their schooling and stuff. I don't know what it is, but I'm still trying to figure it out. So right now that is a little bit of a con because I can't plan my income on them just yet. All right, and those are the pros and cons of the 2 companies I work for, VIPKID and Outschool. If you want to learn more basic information about VIPKID and or Outschool, I actually do have YouTube videos about each of them that kind of just explain more about each company, what you do, but I feel like this video actually did most of the work. Now, the big question that I feel like is going around is, why or are a lot of people staying with VIPKID? Now, me personally, I am staying with VIPKID, and I honestly don't see myself leaving that company anytime soon. I have so many good relationships and students on that company that I could not bear to leave them. I honestly do like sometimes just waking up, teaching from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and being done with it. Now, because of Outschool, I no longer work at 3 a.m., so that 6 to 9 a.m. is perfect for me. I'm a morning person, so that's not too early, and it's a good schedule, 6 to 9 a.m. I like it. I make about $60 or so in the morning just doing something I find enjoyable. But that kind of wraps up this video. I hope you found it just a little bit helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!